This is the beginner-friendly guide on how to get started with playing Tears of the Kingdom Bingo on version 1.1.1. Now, version 1.0 is gaining popularity at the moment as well and is preferred by the speedrunners, but I personally think that 1.1.1 is a bit easier to get into if you're a casual player. I'll cover the most basic glitches and the setup route, and I'll try and keep this non-technical and easy to follow along. When I started playing, I had never done any speedrunning or any of these glitches, but if I can figure it out, then so can you. For more information on these save files, you can visit the lockout.live Discord, which I will link in the description. The setup route will get us a lot of good equipment and items, and it takes about 15 minutes to complete. One thing you want to check before you start playing the first time is in your options. Make sure that motion controls are switched off, because else it will mess with one of the glitches. Time starts when you unpause your game, which is now, and the first thing we're going to do is run over to this corner over here and ascend up. We will only be on Great Sky Island for a moment, because we only need one item, which is over here in a chest. So make your way over these roots and down here and grab these 3 wings. Now our next destination is Auto Build, for which we will be heading to this chasm here. I'll zoom out so you can see exactly where it is. To get there, just run this direction. Don't run out of stamina all the way, because we will be gliding here for a second. Glide forward for a moment, then stop gliding forward and press D-pad up. You'll get the timing in a try or two. Select your wing, drop it in with X, and then hold forward to land on the wing. Now while you're on the wing, you can hold the ZL button to strafe left and right, and if you look down, you can see if you are heading to the chasm. We're pointing straight at it, but if you're a little bit to the left or to the right, just re-aim your wing. Now one more thing we want to do while we're on this wing is an easy duplication glitch for wings, because we currently only have 2 wings left and we're going to need a lot more. So to do this, in the Zonai Devices menu, you simply press A a couple of times to take out all the wings that you currently have, and then you're going to hit the B and the Y button at the same time, like so. And when you open the menu again, you'll see that now you have 4 wings. So just repeat that a few times, spam A here, and then press B and Y at the same time. I recommend you do this a couple of times just so you don't have to worry about running out of wings the first time you play. With that done, glide over to the chasm. You can jump off a little earlier than you think, because you will still be falling forward quite a bit. Now when heading down the chasm, you can already aim your camera west-northwest. And when you're down, just pull out your paraglider again and look straight ahead, and then you should be aiming towards this building. Once again, if you stop pressing forward for a second and open the quick menu, you can drop a wing and you can just glide the rest of the way. Talk to this construct here, and you will be getting the Auto Build rune. Now the reason we're getting Auto Build is for a glitch called Auto Build Cancel Slide, or ABC for short, and that's going to be your long distance movement glitch. When they're done talking, just run down here to the middle of the path and look straight ahead. You can press on the right joystick to open the scope, and just make sure you're nice and centered. This is the setup for the ABC, which you only have to do once, so it is a good idea to do it thoroughly, because if you build this a bit wonky, you'll be having a harder time staying on it later. Take out 2 wings, select Ultra Hand and pick up the top wing, bring it up and out a little bit and drop it on the stairs like so, so it lies at an angle. Then you pick up the second wing, and by holding R and pressing down 3 times, you rotate it like so, bring it up a bit, walk straight forward, and now you want to attach this not in the middle, not at the very tip, but sort of in between and nice and centered. Like that. Now we're already done in the depths, and we're going to warp to Lookout Landing, from where we will be going to Hyrule Castle to get some good equipment. I will also be pointing out 2 optional items that you can grab in Hyrule Castle that I think will help you a lot on your first couple of runs. Now it's time for our first ABC. To set up an ABC, you want to be on a flat piece of land, and you want to take out 3 wings. Then open the rune menu and select Auto Build, and confirm the design that we built just now with A. Now here's where you have to do a more precise input, and I find there are 2 ways of doing this. You can either roll your thumb across B and Y, so you're hitting B and then shortly after you're hitting Y, or you can use your left hand and sort of do the same thing, hit B and then Y. I found using the left hand a little bit easier, especially in the start, but if you have more coordination than I do, you can also just roll your thumb across. This menu is going to pop up again, and then you simply confirm with A, and you can see that it's building these ghost wings in the air that do follow Link around. Now to get on this, we need to use the third wing, which is still on the ground. We simply pick it up with Ultra Hand and bring it up, and then in, and then down to pull it to Link's feet. Now I find it a bit easier to control this whole ABC thing if I rotate the wing once, so it's angled like so, but you don't have to do that. The most important thing is that you always bring it down first and in afterwards, because else you can sort of push it above Link's head and then you can't get on it anymore. But when you're ready to launch, down and in, and then just run Link on there and keep running forward. And you can give yourself more height by very gently using the right joystick. You'll find that you often hit some lag spikes while on the ABC because the game isn't really intending for you to move at this speed. You can very slightly steer this as well. You can see now we're sort of moving diagonally to the left, but if you overdo this, you will fall off. So generally keep Link straight on the ABC and only use the right joystick to control height, but don't twist it left or right. Back in our actual run, stand here, so you have a little bit of space in front of you, and then you can once again use the scope to aim straight ahead. Take out the 3 wings, select Auto Build and confirm the design with A. Roll your thumb across B and Y, and as soon as you can see the ghost wings in the air, you can activate Ultra Hand and pick up the 3rd wing. Bring it up, and in and down, you can rotate it if you want, and when it's at Link's feet, just run on and keep running forward and give yourself a bit of height with the right joystick. And we will be making our way all the way to the top, and when you're sort of next to or above the spire, hold the L button to bring up this menu, and then select Auto Build again, because this will essentially cancel this auto build, so the wings fall apart and you can dismount quite easily. Glide down here to the upper level of the spire that has 2 chests, and then grab the right chest. This sapphire will be used in combat, and we can also sell it for money. Now here is where I suggest that you grab an optional item, which is located out the south window, which is this one, and you simply hop out to this windowsill where you find the royal bow. From the royal bow, you can continue over here, and in this chest you will find the royal guard's bow. That is the bow we usually get, so if you want to skip the optional item, you just start here at the sapphire chest, hop out the window behind it, and then just come down to the right side. And this is the chest that had the royal guard's bow in it. From here, continue this way, and we are going to grab 2 swords. The first one is right here, which is the Knight's Claymore, and this is the main damage-dealing weapon, because it has the additional ability that you deal double damage when you're down to a single heart. Additionally, we're going to grab the Soldier's Claymore, and because we don't want to damage the Knight's Claymore, we can just select the Soldier's Claymore for now and use that. Activate this shrine as well in case you need to come back to Hyrule Castle later. Now from here, another optional item. Glide over here and into this hole. And don't worry, there are no enemies here. Over here, grab the Royal Guard's shield. And you can leave this building easily by removing this bookcase and then just falling down. If you don't want to grab the optional item, you can simply glide over that hole and just drop down straight away. From here, look for the gravel path on the ground. You can see it here to the left of Link, because that is where we'll be finding the Hylian shield, which is very important for us. Make your way down there. And you can find a bunch of arrows in these crates here, and we will need 1. If you only get 1 and you miss your shot, don't worry, there are more crates over here. Come over to this torch and shoot an arrow like so, which will spawn in the chest with the Hylian shield. Now that completes the part in Hyrule Castle. From here we will be going to Woodland Stable. So walk over here and ascend up. And we will be doing another ABC, and I find it a bit easier if you climb up here first so you can see where you're going. Now Woodland Stable is over here. we will first be dropping by this island right here to grab another optional item that is a good idea in most runs. Just to show where that is on the map, right over here. So time for another ABC. We will take out 3 wings, 1, 2, 3. Select auto build, press A to select the design, B and Y, and press A again. Select Ultra Hand to pick up the 3rd wing, and up, in, down, rotate, and in and down a bit more. Get on, give yourself a little bit of height by flicking up the right joystick a couple of times. When you're approximately above that little island, once again hold L to open the rune menu, select auto build and let go, and fall down. Now this little island has a chest that has a large zonite charge, which refills your battery, and which will be super useful for the next glitch that we're going to look at. First though, from here, we will be heading to this pillar right here. Also going to show that on the map, right here. So just hop forward, and once again, if you want, you can stop holding forward and press D-pad up, pull out a wing, and glide the rest of the way. On this pillar, there are 2 things we want to do. The first thing is we want to duplicate the 2 items we currently have, the sapphire and the large zonite charge. For this duplication glitch, you can stand on a little ledge, jump and paraglide, and then immediately pause the game. You can see in the background that Link has his paraglider out, and that is what makes this trick work. From here, if you press X, you can start holding items. Just hold all the items you want to duplicate. And then similar to how we duplicated the wings, we again press B and Y at the same time. You can see we dropped the 2 items, but they're also still in our inventory. So if we pick these 2 up, now we have 2 of both. So you can just repeat that as much as you want. Simply take them out, B and Y at the same time. You can even pause again right after, and then you can do it a couple of times until you've reached the ground. Do this until you have about 35 sapphires and 10 zonite charges. That should be enough to get you started. Now you don't have to be hopping off a ledge and paragliding to do this. You can also do this glitch while you're in a shield jump. Shield jump is holding ZL and then pressing X and A at the same time like so. And once again, you have to immediately pause the game so you can see Link is still kind of in the shield jump in the background. So if you were to take out more sapphires here and press B and Y at the same time, you can see that those got duplicated as well. Now the second reason we're on this pillar is for this chest right here, which contains 3 rockets. And this is a glitch you might have seen before that is named Pocket Rocket, which is a very cool movement glitch that is really good for short distances. Of course, 3 rockets aren't going to be enough for our needs, so we will also have to duplicate them. An easy way to do it is just stand here in this corner, open the Zonite Devices menu, take out all the rockets you have, press B and Y at the same time, and now you have 6. The idea is basically to stand in a spot where it can't spawn in the rockets. So for example, if I try and do it here, it will put the rocket into the world. It's still also going to be in my inventory, so we technically didn't lose any, but we're also not gaining. So always make sure if you want to duplicate, I'm just gonna trash this, either stand with your back to a wall, you can also be facing a cliff, or you can also be facing towards or away from a corner. Generally though, I'd say stand here and duplicate yourself a bunch of rockets and also wings so you don't run out. To set a pocket rocket, we always need 1 weapon and 1 shield, but it can be a bit easier to use 2 shields, which is why we picked up this one. So let's select this one for now. And then we want to spawn in a rocket either from the quick menu or from the normal menu. Select fuse, and now we again have a more precise timing to hit. You're gonna press L, and then in that short moment before this rune menu here pops up, you also have to hit the ZL button and just keep holding. I'll show you. Activate fuse, and then like so hit the timing. And you can see in the background the rocket has disappeared. Now from here, I'm going to let go of these 2 buttons and I'm going to spam the D-pad at the same time, so the quick selection menu pops up. And from here, we're going to select the Hylian shield, and the rocket is going to pop out behind Link, and that's how you know it worked. Select fuse again and fuse it to your weapon, and now you have pocket rocket set up. Like I said, the second shield is optional, and here's how you do it with just 1 shield. The basic steps are the same. You spawn a rocket, you press L to activate fuse, and then you hit this timing here. spam the left D-pad. Now we don't have a second shield to select, so we're just going to select none. We're going to let go of the D-pad and immediately spam it again like so, and then reselect the Hylian shield. And that still works. You can start pocket rocketing both from the ground and while you're already in the air paragliding. It's a little bit easier to start while paragliding, so I'm going to show that first. So we're going to hop off here and paraglide, and then hold the ZL button and press AB, AB, AB. And you can see I'm sort of rolling my thumb across to hit those buttons with very close timing. AB, AB, AB. And as you can tell, this uses up battery, and that is the precise reason that we grabbed ourselves those Zonai charges. So if you run out of battery, you can just eat one of those and you can keep going. Pocket Rocket also uses up shield durability, and that's the reason you always want to be using the Hylian shield for this. Now, unfortunately, the rocket doesn't last forever, and when you've used it a bunch, you will hear that sound there. And that is the game warning you and telling you the rocket is about to run out, which looks like this. And then you simply have to land and set up a new one. Now you can also start from the ground, and the way you do that is with a shield hop. And because a shield hop is ZL and X and A, you're already sort of pressing A as part of that combo, so you don't need to press AB afterwards, you simply continue to B right away. So my thumb is going to do like a motion like so. I'll show you. And then just continue with the AB straight away. It's probably going to take a little bit of practice, and sometimes you still mess it up, even if you're an experienced player, but that's alright. If you mess it up, it looks like this, and you will see that we just used up all our battery, and you might even use up your entire rocket. If you had a pocket rocket and then you load your game, for example, because you died or you did a manual save, your pocket rocket will be broken. But it's no problem, you can simply destroy the fused material and start again. One last trick that I want to show you is if you're using pocket rocket and you're moving, you can always use your bow to change your direction pretty quickly. So let's say we want to go over here, pull out the paraglider, and now we've turned in the air, and you can just keep going. There are a couple of more advanced maneuvers with pocket rocket, but I think for now this is a good start. Alright, let's set up pocket rocket here. Select the non-Hylian shield, press the D-pad up to bring up the quick menu, drop a rocket, hold L to select fuse, and now press L and then ZL in short succession and keep holding both. So now we're going to let go of both of those buttons and spam the left D-pad at the same time. Select the Hylian shield, bring up fuse again, and fuse it to your weapon. Now you've got pocket rocket set up, and we will be doing a couple of things here at Woodland Stable. You can just hop off because it's a little bit easier to do pocket rocket when you're gliding in the start, and just come over here and grab some fire fruit. Fire fruit are really useful for making a campfire if you have to switch to nighttime. They can also be used to damage yourself by throwing them at the ground and bringing yourself down to 1 heart. If you remember earlier, I talked about how the Knight's Claymore deals double damage when you're on low health, so that's a popular strategy. The next thing we want to do at Woodland Stable always is come and visit Beetle. And Beetle will be either here on the path, like he's right now, or he might also be sitting under the tree here. And Beetle is very interested in buying gemstones from us, so we will be selling a bunch just to have some money. It really depends on the goals and how much money you need for a specific run, but in general, just sell him 3 or 4. The next thing you want to do is buy all of his arrows, both the individual ones and the bundles. There is no duplication glitch for arrows, so it's really important that you keep buying arrows when you can, and make sure that you don't run out in the middle of combat. From here you can be on your merry way to complete your bingo goals. Some goals can be started or even completed during setup, but you'll figure that out as you're learning all the goals. Lastly, about that second bow. The Royal Guard's bow is a really good weapon, but you'll find that it's pretty fragile and that it breaks after just 1 or 2 mini-bosses. A glitch I didn't want to cover in this guide is overload, because it's more technically advanced and it can be kind of confusing if you don't understand the technical side of it. You might have heard people talk about holding 13 weapons at once or playing with Link's legs missing. That's overload. The benefit of overload is that you can deal a lot of damage very easily and that you can duplicate your equipment. Luckily for us, there is also an alternative if we just want to duplicate some bows. The only requirement is that we have 2 bows. To do that, and you can see we're back on this pillar that had the chest with the rockets, you need to stand with your back against a flat wall, like over here. Take out the bow by tapping the ZR button, and just make sure that you have the good bow that you want to duplicate selected. Now to start the glitch, you hold the L button to bring up the rune menu, and then you select the map rune. And keep holding L, and as you let go of it, you are going to spam the right D-pad to get the quick menu to open. From here, drop the item that you currently have equipped with X, and then immediately spam the right D-pad again. Select the other bow, and that's why we needed 2, and just let go of the D-pad. That automatically opens the map because we had that map rune selected. From here, press plus to open the usual inventory, select the royal bow, and drop it. And it will tell you that you can't do that, but the glitch still worked, don't worry. Simply walk away from the wall and drop the bow for real this time. And you can see, now we have 2 Royal Guards bows. And you can just repeat it until you have a bunch. You can also, if you like, give yourself a couple of Hylian shields, though you will generally not have an issue with the Hylian shield breaking. There are, of course, a lot of small optimizations and other tricks that I chose to skip for this guide just to keep it beginner-friendly and straightforward. I'll be linking to other guides in the description of the video, and I'll also answer some FAQs there. If you have any more questions about bingo, you're welcome to join the Lockout.live Discord server. I hope this helps you get started, and I hope you have a lot of fun playing bingo.